Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the business world and talk about its unsung hero. We're going to look at the force that really separates the winners from the losers. And spoiler alert, it's not just about flashy marketing or being the cheapest. Nope, it's something much, much more fundamental. So let me ask you this. When you think about a company that's just absolutely crushing it, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What's their secret sauce? Is it maybe a super clever marketing campaign? One of those ads that gets stuck in your head for weeks? That's definitely part of the story, yeah, but it is not the whole picture. Okay, so what about price? Is it just about being the cheapest option out there? I mean, that can be a really powerful way to win customers, for sure, but it's still just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. The real secret, the true, unsung hero behind every successful business is actually something working quietly in the background, something hidden in plain sight that makes everything else even possible. And that hero is operations. This is the engine room of a business. It's the part of the company that takes all the great ideas and big promises and actually turns them into the physical products and real-world services that we all use every single day. So, what exactly is operations management, or OM for short? Well, at its heart, it's all about transformation. It's the art and science of taking inputs, things like raw materials, information, even people's time and effort, and efficiently turning them into a finished product or a delivered service. It's the how behind everything a company does. Think about it like this. Marketing goes out and makes a promise to you, the customer. Finance gets the money ready to make it all happen. HR finds the right people for the job, but it's operations that actually physically delivers on that promise. Without solid operations, you've got nothing to sell and no money to count. It's the final crucial step. Okay, so how do operations managers actually pull this off? Well, they have a kind of toolkit with 5 key objectives. You can think of them as 5 performance levers that they can pull and adjust to get a competitive advantage. And here they are, the big 5: quality, speed, dependability, flexibility, and cost. Getting the mix of these just right is the absolute key to operational excellence. So let's dive in and break down each one. First up, we've got quality. This is pretty straightforward. It's all about doing things right. It means making stuff or providing services that are free of mistakes and actually live up to what you, the customer, were expecting. The gold standard here is Toyota. Their entire worldwide reputation is literally built on a production system that is obsessed with reliability and stopping errors before they can even happen. Next, we have speed, doing things quickly. And in the world we live in today, speed is huge. It's all about shrinking the gap between when a customer clicks buy and when that thing arrives at their door. Just think about services like Checkers 6060 or Mr. D Food. Their whole business model is basically built on one promise: getting you what you want as fast as humanly possible. Then we have dependability. This is all about trust. It means doing things on time, every time. If a company says your package will show up on Tuesday, does it actually show up on Tuesday? A really powerful local example of this is the challenge of utility dependability. When the electricity supply from Eskom isn't dependable, it forces businesses into all these expensive workarounds, like running generators, which just goes to show how critical this one lever is for the whole economy. Our fourth lever is flexibility. This is all about a company's ability to change things up, to adapt. Can they launch a new product quickly? Can they handle a sudden spike in demand? Retailers like Zara are absolute masters of this. Their operations are so finely tuned, they can take a brand new design from a sketch pad to a clothing rack in their store in just a matter of weeks. It's incredible. And finally, our fifth lever, cost. This one's about doing things cheaply. It's about being as efficient as possible to keep expenses low. This lets companies either offer you and me a lower price or just pocket a higher profit. A perfect example is a low-cost airline like Flysafair. Every single piece of their operation, from how fast they turn planes around at the gate to unbundling services, is all designed for one thing: to drive down costs and keep those ticket prices low. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. A company can't just be perfect at all 5 of these things at the same time. You can't just max out every single lever. And that leads us to the central challenge in operations: making strategic trade-offs. Let's look at the classic trade-off: quality versus cost. On one hand, if you want to create the absolute highest quality product, that usually means you need more expensive materials, more skilled workers, and stricter checks. All of that drives your costs up. On the other hand, if your main goal is to be the lowest cost producer, you'll probably use more standard parts and simpler processes, which can put a ceiling on just how high your quality can get. And here's another one: speed versus flexibility. Picture a factory assembly line that is perfectly engineered to make one specific thing incredibly fast. That specialization is what gives it speed, but because it's so specialized, it's really hard and slow to change it to make something else. To be highly flexible, you often need more general-purpose equipment and processes, which are usually a bit slower. You see the trade-off? And this is probably the most important part of all, these trade-offs aren't just random accidents. They are very deliberate, strategic choices. A company's operation strategy is all about deciding which levers to pull the hardest to support its overall business strategy, its big plan for how it's going to win. Let's look at this in action. Take that low-cost airline again. Their entire business strategy is to be the cheapest way to fly. So what does their operation strategy look like? While they pull that cost lever all the way to the max, everything is about being cheap. Speed, like quick turnarounds, is also pretty important to keep the planes making money. But flexibility, offering tons of different routes or fancy seating options, that's a way, way lower priority. Now let's do a complete 180. Think about a boutique wine estate in Stellenbosch. They are absolutely not trying to be the cheapest wine on the shelf. Their strategy is all about premium, world-class quality. So for them, the quality lever is pulled to the max. It's all about the best grapes and meticulous processes. Flexibility is maybe somewhat important, to produce different types of wine. But being the lowest cost producer, that's not even part of the game they're playing. So after all this talk about levers and trade-offs and strategies, you might be thinking, okay, that's interesting, but why does this matter to me? Well, the truth is, it shapes almost every single choice you make as a consumer. Seriously, from the phone in your hand to the takeout you ordered last night, every single thing is the end result of a long chain of these operational decisions. The company behind that product made a very conscious choice about which of these levers to prioritize over the others, all in an effort to win your business. So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. The next time you buy something or choose a service, just take a second and think like an operations strategist. Why did you pick that one? Was it because it was the highest quality, the fastest, the most dependable, the most flexible, or just the cheapest? Which of the 5 levers did that company pull to win you over? Think about it.